There comes a moment in every life when the truth stands uncomfortably close, demanding to be faced. For some, that moment arrives at 50, an age where experience is abundant, but time feels suddenly precious. When you look at your savings, your achievements, and the dreams you still carry, the realization can shake you. I have less than I hoped for, less than I planned for, less than I believed I would have by now. But let me tell you this, what terrifies you today is not a sentence, it is a signal. It is the universe urging you to rise with greater purpose than ever before. 50 is not the end of possibility, it is the beginning of clarity. It is the age where you no longer chase illusions. You pursue only what is real, meaningful, and transformative. What feels like a setback can become the fire that awakens the courage you have been postponing for years. You are not too late, and you are not too far behind. You are simply being called to a new level of discipline, strength, and determination. Do not fear the number in your bank account. Fear remaining the same person who allowed it to get there. For the heart that refuses to surrender, the mind that embraces wisdom, and the spirit that still dares to dream. These are the tools that can rebuild, renew, and rise. Today is not the moment to retreat. It is the moment to step forward with a resolve that can turn the next decade into the most extraordinary chapter of your life. There comes a point in life when the weight of time becomes undeniable, when the mirror reflects not only who you are, but who you were meant to be. Reaching 50 with less than you expected, less savings, less security, fewer choices than you once dreamed of, can feel like a storm you never prepared for. Yet this moment, though unsettling, carries a powerful truth. Your age is not your cage. It is your compass. It does not confine you. It directs you. It does not limit you. It guides you. At 50, you possess something far more valuable than money. You possess clarity, experience, and a deeper understanding of what truly matters. Many people fear that starting late means starting weak, but wisdom has its own strength, and discipline has its own power. You have endured hardships that shaped you, challenges that refined you, and mistakes that taught you. These are not burdens, they are tools. They are the foundation upon which you can build a new beginning with far more intention than any beginning you have ever attempted before. When you were young, you chased dreams blindly. Today, you can pursue them with vision. When you were younger, you relied on hope. Today, you can lean on strategy and resilience. What should terrify you is not the number in your account, but the thought of surrendering to it. You are not defined by what you lack, but by what you choose to pursue. Every day that you wake up with breath in your lungs is another opportunity to rise, to build, to change the trajectory of your life. The world is filled with men and women who achieved greatness after 50 because maturity sharpened their focus and urgency fueled their discipline. You are capable of the same transformation. Your age grants you a compass that points not toward fear, but toward purpose. It reminds you that regrets are not anchors, they are lessons. And while you cannot rewrite the chapters behind you, you can write the pages ahead with courage. You can choose to step into the decade of your greatest growth, your boldest decisions, and your most determined actions. Do not allow society to tell you that you are late. Do not let comparison steal your commitment. You are exactly where you need to be to begin. The mountain before you may seem steep, but you carry within you the endurance of a lifetime. You know pain, you know survival, and now you must know possibility. Stand tall in this moment. Let the truth awaken you, not paralyze you. The future is not reserved for the young. It is reserved for the persistent, the disciplined, the courageous. If you rise now with unwavering resolve, the years ahead can become the years that define your legacy. Your journey is far from over. In many ways, it is only beginning. Courage begins the moment you refuse to be defined by your past and choose instead to be shaped by your purpose. Every person reaches a time in life when the weight of yesterday threatens to overshadow the promise of tomorrow. At 50, with less than you hope for, it is easy to believe that your history has sealed your fate. But courage is born in the very moment you stand up against that belief. It is born when you decide that your mistakes, your delays, your losses, and your shortcomings are not your identity. They are chapters, not conclusions. They are lessons, not limitations. When you choose purpose over regret, you reclaim power over your life. Your past explains you, but it does not define you. You may have taken wrong turns, trusted the wrong people, invested in the wrong paths, or allowed fear to silence your ambitions. Yet none of that has the right to dictate who you can become unless you surrender to it. Courage is the refusal to surrender. It is the quiet decision to rise again, even when rising feels heavy. It is the declaration that your spirit is stronger than your struggles, and your vision is brighter than your memories. Choosing purpose means lifting your eyes from what went wrong and focusing on what can be made right. It means taking ownership of the years ahead, even if they are fewer than the ones behind you. Purpose does not ask how old you are or how much you have saved. It asks only whether you are willing to move forward with conviction. At 50, you carry the wisdom of experience, the sharpness of clarity, and the urgency of a life that can no longer be wasted. These are gifts that young dreamers do not yet possess. The moment you embrace purpose, you awaken a part of yourself that may have been silent for years. You begin to see possibilities where you once saw problems. You begin to craft plans where you once made excuses. You begin to take action where you once hesitated. And slowly you shift from fearing the future to shaping it. Courage is not loud. It does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers saying, try again, begin again, build again. Your past may have left scars, but those scars are proof that you survived. They are the marks of someone who endured and learned and grew. Purpose transforms those scars into strength, reminding you that your journey is not over. It is evolving. You are not too late and you are not too far behind. You are simply standing at a crossroads where fear invites you backward and purpose calls you forward. Walk toward your purpose with the certainty that every great transformation begins with a single decision, the decision to no longer let your past hold your future hostage. When you choose courage, when you choose purpose, you unlock a life that is still waiting to unfold, stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. Wealth is not built in silence. It is built through discipline, learning, sacrifice, and the refusal to surrender. Many reach a stage in life where they feel the pressure of time tightening around them, especially when they realize their financial foundation is not as strong as they once imagined it would be. At 50, with less than what you had hoped to build, the truth can strike hard. But wealth, real, lasting, transformative wealth, is not the product of luck or noise or sudden miracles. It is the result of daily choices, steady action, and an unwavering commitment to change the direction of your life. Silence does nothing for you unless it is the silence of focus, of study, of planning. Too many remain quiet in their discomfort, hiding from their reality, allowing shame to keep them locked in place. But discipline begins when you break that silence within yourself, when you speak honestly about where you stand, when you confront the habits that held you back, when you acknowledge the distractions that drained your time and your opportunities. Wealth grows in the soil of truth, not denial. It grows when you stop pretending and start preparing. Learning becomes your greatest ally in this new chapter. The world today offers more knowledge than any generation before you. With every book you read, every skill you study, every mistake you analyze, you expand your capacity to build. Learning is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It protects you from repeating the past and opens doors you never knew existed. At 50, your mind is sharper than you think. Your experience is richer than you realize, and your potential far greater than you give yourself credit for. Age does not diminish your ability to grow, it enhances it. But no path to wealth is complete without sacrifice. Sacrifice is the bridge between desire and achievement. It is the willingness to give up comfort today for strength tomorrow. It means trading excuses for effort, entertainment for education, and temporary pleasures for long-term security. The journey may ask you to let go of old habits, old circles, and old beliefs that no longer serve the life you want to build. Sacrifice is not loss, it is investment. Every disciplined step you take, every unnecessary expense you cut, every new skill you master becomes a seed planted for a future you once doubted you could reach. And above all, wealth is built by those who refuse to surrender. The difference between those who rise and those who remain is persistence. You will meet setbacks, slow progress, and moments where quitting feels easier than continuing. But if you stand firm, if you keep moving, if you refuse to bow to discouragement, you will witness a transformation stronger than you expect. Refusing to surrender is the heartbeat of success. It is the force that turns small steps into big outcomes. So let this moment, not your age, not your number, not your past, be the beginning of your rise. Wealth is not determined by where you start, it is shaped by how relentlessly you decide to continue. Your next chapter can become your greatest one if you confront fear with clarity and action. For too long, fear has been the silent companion of many lives, shaping decisions, dimming ambitions, and convincing people that their best days are behind them. At 50, fear often grows louder. It whispers that time has slipped away, that opportunities have passed, that the future holds more limits than possibilities. But fear only holds the power you give it. When you look it in the eye with clarity, when you take action despite the tremble in your heart, you reclaim authority over your destiny. Clarity is the light that exposes fear for what it truly is, an illusion built on assumptions, on comparisons, on old wounds and outdated beliefs. Clarity demands that you face your reality honestly. It asks you to look at where you stand without excuses or denial. It pushes you to identify exactly what needs to change, what must be built, and what must be left behind. When you gain clarity, you stop stumbling in the dark. You see the path clearly enough to take your first steps with confidence, even if the full journey is not yet in sight. Clarity also reminds you that your age is not a barrier but a resource. You have lived long enough to know what matters and what doesn't. You have felt the sting of loss, the weight of mistakes, and the disappointment of dreams postponed. Yet these experiences have also sharpened your insight. They have taught you resilience. They have shown you what stability requires and what growth demands. With clarity, you recognize that the years ahead can still outshine the years behind, if you have the courage to act. Action is the engine of transformation. Nothing changes without it. You cannot think your way into a stronger future. You must walk into it. You must make decisions that align with your goals, choices that challenge your comfort, and moves that reflect the person you want to become. Action may feel difficult at first. It may feel slow, uncertain, and even intimidating. But every step taken with purpose builds momentum. And momentum has the power to turn ordinary people into extraordinary forces. When fear stands in your path, action is what pushes you through it. When doubt weighs heavily on your mind, action proves that your strength is greater than your hesitation. When you feel behind, action reminds you that you are still in the race. The next chapter of your life will not write itself. It waits for you to pick up the pen with intention, discipline, and determination. You have more power than you realize. Your next chapter can become the chapter that defines your legacy. It can be the chapter where you rise with conviction, where you build what you once feared you could never achieve, where you discover a version of yourself stronger, wiser, and more relentless than ever before. Confront fear with clarity, answer it with action, and watch as the life ahead transforms into the greatest chapter you have ever lived. Those who walk forward with resilience, vision, and unwavering belief can achieve in a few years what they once thought impossible. Life has a way of rewarding those who refuse to remain where they are, especially when the world expects them to stand still. At 50, it is easy to feel the weight of time pressing against you. It is easy to believe that the window of possibility has closed, that the dreams you carried in your youth now belong to someone else. But history, your own and the world's, proves something far greater. A determined person can compress decades of progress into a few focused years when they move forward with intention and inner fire. Resilience is the armor that protects your spirit from the blows of doubt and failure. You have already survived storms that could have broken you. You have endured losses, disappointments, and moments where you thought you would not rise again. But you did. That resilience is your strength. When you walk forward now, you walk with the knowledge of someone who has seen darkness and still chooses light. Resilience does not mean you never fall. It means you rise faster, stronger, and wiser each time you do. It is the fuel that turns fear into movement and setbacks into stepping stones. Vision is the roadmap for your next chapter. Without vision, you move in circles. With vision, you move with purpose. At 50, your vision is no longer clouded by fantasies or illusions. You do not chase what glitters, you pursue what matters. Vision allows you to see beyond your current circumstances. It helps you identify the opportunities hidden inside challenges, the potential waiting inside your skills, and the strength hiding inside your struggles. When you craft a clear vision, you give your life direction, meaning, and urgency. You give yourself something to wake up for, work toward, and fight for, but belief, unwavering belief, is the force that ties it all together. It is the quiet yet powerful voice inside you that whispers, "You are not done yet. You can still rise. You can still build. You can still transform." Belief is not loud. It does not boast or shout. It lives in your chest like a steady flame, guiding you through the darkness. When you believe in yourself, you stop negotiating with your doubts. You stop underestimating your abilities. You stop letting fear choose your future. Belief makes the impossible possible. It turns ordinary people into leaders, dreamers into doers, and late starters into powerful finishers. When resilience strengthens your heart, vision sharpens your mind, and belief anchors your spirit, time bends in your favor. You no longer measure progress by years, but by the intensity of your commitment. What once seemed unreachable begins to move closer. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. And what once appeared impossible becomes the very story you are destined to live. You can achieve more in the next few years than you did in the decades behind you, not because time has slowed, but because you have awakened. You are stronger now, you are wiser now, and you are ready now. Your greatest achievements are not behind you, they are waiting just ahead, ready for the moment you decide to walk forward with unwavering belief.